Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Sorry the episode was a little late. Your boy is a road comic. And I'm here with my lovely lady, my lovely
Hey.
future wife.
Oh.
And we're talking about, we're talking about a bunch of stuff. But actually, we're also talking about, what are you doing?
Is that my noise?
Yeah.
Sorry.
People are like, oh, can we listen to Michael Jackson or not? You know, is it appropriate? But I feel like he's a child.
I think this is a sin that you're doing this.
No, because he didn't molest anybody yet when this was recorded.
Yeah, but I don't need to be reminded of his good music.
You don't?
Like, no music is safe now.
Right. It also makes you think, like, he's dead, and anybody who would protect him is dead. So there's everybody who's your hero has done stuff like this.
Probably.
You know?
Is that, like, how people gain success?
I think so. Can you plug the clock in? Jamie, plug that clock in. There's the outlet, and there's the... Thank you. Anyway.
Wait. Thank you so much for pointing out that outlet and that plug for me, honey, because I don't think I would have found it on my own.
What do you mean? Well, also, I just want to say thank you to everybody. First off, thank you for everybody who came out. Me and Adam Friedland were on the road this week, and we did a bunch of shows in the Midwest, and they were a lot of fun. So shout out to that guy and his wife. Shout out to there were a couple sit-down fans there too, believe it or not. Yeah.
And shout out and thank you to all of the spies I had out there on the road, just making sure Mike was not up to no good.
What do you mean?
Oh, I told you I have eyes everywhere.
No, but I told you I don't drink, so you can't cheat when you're sober.
Right. But I thought you were drinking when you were there.
Yeah, I drank a little bit, but not enough to. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I hope to do it again real soon. If you live in a town that's not New York, let us know where you want us to come.
I want to go to Austin and Nashville and Atlanta and Denver.
All right.
So reach out so that Mike will book a show there and I can go too.
Sounds good. We'll make it happen. Okay, so today, I wanted to talk about this. I mean, now, also, we are kind of throwing together an episode last minute, as we sometimes do on this show. But I was like, this college thing is in the news, and I was like, I would like to kind of get Deb's opinion on this stuff,
Oh, you want my opinion?
Yes.
Thanks.
I always want your opinion.
Oh.
I always want to hear you talk. And you know what? I'm so lucky that usually, like, when we're out, no one has to tell you to talk. You just always, you're never shy about giving your opinions over and over and over again, even when no one else has given theirs.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
That's what I like about you.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hear anybody talk except for you.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm very lucky.
You're welcome. Well, anytime. I'm just glad I could do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm so verbose.
Right.
I just like to chat.
Well, anyway, so we're going to talk about this college admission scam today. Basically, you guys already know what happened. A bunch of very wealthy people gave money to this guy, William Rick Singer, to help get their kids into prestigious schools, right?
Yeah, he did a good job.
He did a very good job.
He was not bad at his job.
Yeah.
And he took a lot of money, but then he used that money also.
Right.
So he didn't keep all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was in it for the game.
For the game, for the thrill.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know what? I mean, and the mob boss that just got killed in Staten Island, the guy Frank Colley, they said one thing people liked about him was that he was able to enrich everybody else. He was able to make everyone around him get, like
Gotti
get
and
money.
His fireworks.
Sure. Yeah, I guess like Gotti. But I mean, even like when you're the boss of something, right? When you're like put in charge, it is kind of fun to be like, oh, I'm helping other people get rich too. And
right.
I think that's like a go ahead.
Then they like owe that to you.
Yeah. I think that's a very essential part of a good scam where it's like everybody has to feel like they're getting taken care of.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of has to feel like they're internet, and people wouldn't want to rat on you.
Right, yeah. And they feel like the plan's bulletproof too.
Right. Because it's like, I got this guy doing this, I got this guy
Mhm.
doing this, I got this whole network of people, and everybody's happy. Everybody's wetting their beaks. You know?
Right. And then
that's
the
why-
further they go, the more comfortable they get to like go deeper and deeper without even knowing.
Right.
So like how initially it was like racketeering and then it turned into
Sorry, folks.
Frankie.
We got a full house here.
And then it turned into also an IRS scam too because they wrote off
They were
their
able to write off the donation.
yeah.
Yeah. Which is great. I feel like sometimes I feel like being rich is just knowing how to like manipulate the system and write stuff off.
Yeah. But then I also think that you just get to a point of like greed and obsession that you think that money can solve everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you just equate money with like the only thing that matters.
Right.
But I mean,
And then sometimes there's narcs.
right.
There's the feds that are like, excuse me, this isn't right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I mean, like what I'm actually trying to get to is that school requires a lot of work, and I bet if someone didn't want to be there, it would just be like the biggest waste of money. You can't bring your kid to a soccer game and be like, play soccer, like soccer,
They have to want to do
coach,
it.
make them do soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of intrinsic motivation.
Sometimes you bring your
there.
kid to a baseball game and they were never registered for the team.
Exactly. And that kid wanted to play.
Yeah.
And she knew how.
Yeah.
So.
And then her dumb dad was like, oh well, let's go home and drink. Have we told that story on the podcast
A bunch
before?
of times. I think it's like
Okay,
your
fine.
favorite story.
No, it's not. My favorite story is when you and your siblings were catfishing people
Oh.
with your home computer.
I thought your favorite story was the Great American Scream Machine.
Oh, that's a good story too.
Yeah.
We'll
Too many inside jokes now. We can't.
Well,
Too
long story
inside
short,
story.
Deborah's mother is bipolar, and she dragged Deb and her sister to Great Adventure one day, and she made them go on Scream Machine, and they were crying the whole way because they didn't want to go. And then people would look at Deborah's mom. Your mom would be like, "Why don't you mind your business?"
Yeah.
And then they get to the ride, and they're like, "This one's too short." They point at Deb, and like, "This one's too short." And then Amanda's crying, and then Amanda gets off the roller coaster. She's like, "I love roller coasters." And Deborah had to wait while her mom and sister rode the roller coaster.
Yeah, I had to hold all their stuff at the end of every line, and I didn't get to go on any rides for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, so that brings us to the big disconnect between the wealthy.
Yeah, let's talk. Well, let's also talk about how this scheme works. Because what I'm curious, and I haven't been able to find this, was how the guy approached people and how the guy like found clients. He must have like, I don't know, knew people who knew rich kids, or like had friends who were like, hey, if you know anybody who's got college age kids, send them my way.
But I mean, when you're in a group of people, right?
Yeah.
You always know who does what, sort of.
Right.
Like whenever we're at comedy shows, like I know who's selling weed Tootsie Rolls or giving them out. Like you always know who has.
Shout out to our boy. I don't want to say his name, but he listens to the show.
Right.
His name rhymes with ham.
So like you can. I think that once you're in that type of community, you just like know who has what connect. And they're like, so-and-so couldn't get into this school, so they reached out to this guy. And it becomes like a referral service by word of mouth.
Mm-hmm. This guy, Rick Singer, though, he was allegedly paid $25 million between 2011 and 2018, which is about $3 million a year. This table leg is I think it's wobbling. These legs are wobbling. Oh, this one is off the. Oh, this is going to drive me nuts now. All right. One of my table legs are broken.
You have exogenous. Is that what it's called?
Fuck.
Attention. Where like
This is bad.
you could be mid thought and a butterfly goes past, and you're like butterfly.
Yeah.
You're
all
like
right, we'll
table
fix it.
leg.
All right, we'll fix it later. Tim, I might need you to come over here. Bring that hot man bun of yours and fix this thing. Okay, so yeah, the students. So they were kind of like There were two ways that he helped kids get into school. Now, these parents paid upwards. One parent paid as much money as $6 million to get their kid into school. People hear that and they go, "Well, you could just buy a building. You don't even have to bribe anybody." But nowadays they say even like a $10 million donation doesn't necessarily get your kid into the school.
But you're saying donation. Meanwhile, this was like bribery.
No, but I'm saying like people say like, oh, you could just bribe the school if you wanted to.
Right, but you'd have to bribe an individual person because to bribe.
You could make a donation to the school and get your kid into the school.
Right. But then you just said it doesn't necessarily guarantee their admission.
No.
Right. But if you bribe a coach, one person, to get them to say that they're going to be considered for the athletic department.
So what these parents were paying for was a guarantee to get into the school.
Right, yeah.
Because that was like surprising to me because you can donate $10 million to the school and you don't even really it doesn't really get your kid's foot in the door. Maybe you'll get considered, but it's not like a definite guarantee that you're going to get in.
Right, because that's just like too much on the books and obvious. So they couldn't just accept someone based on that criteria because they'd be like, oh, my parents, I wish they could buy a building so I can get
Billy
in.
Madison.
It has to be a secret.
Right.
Yeah. Because then it's like you only have one person to answer to pretty much when you're bribing someone. You got to start small.
Right.
And infiltrate. And it seems to be the weak link is the athletic departments in these schools.
You think?
Well, that's what the majority, or like that's where the target seems to be.
Yeah. Wait, what's this guy's name? Rick what?
Singer?
Rick Singer, yeah. Yeah, he's like got it locked up.
Yeah, but I mean, it seemed like he did
stupid coach being like, "Oh, sure, I'll say that she played that she ran track."
Right. But I mean, isn't there a stigma about like I knew some gym teachers who were like, it's physical education.
Yeah.
You know? So like they have that kind of like chip on their shoulder because they never felt legitimized in the education world.
Right.
They're like, I'm just as important as you are.
And you're like, I can see your balls through your sweatpants.
Yeah.
I can see your pussy. I can see your snatch through your champion pants.
When I moved to New
you
Jersey
slob.
In 6th grade, my gym teacher, the only thing I knew about her, they were like, "Oh, you have the one with the dark hair? She used to be a porn star."
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Did she have the body for it?
Not really, but it was like apparently years ago.
There were like a million rumors about gym teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're like athletic coaches are just gym teachers.
Yeah. There was also like people would talk about this gym teacher, Miss Geyser, who was like clearly a lesbian, and kids would be like, "She's a lesbian," but that was just the only.
That was it.
Yeah,
that was the most exciting thing you had.
Was just a
one
lesbian. No, we had some teachers. Porn star. Yeah, I know.
My Spanish teacher was a wrestler.
Really? We had some teachers. They were having an affair and they got married, and everybody knew.
Oh, that happened in my high school too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drama teacher and an English teacher.
And the janitor.
No, but the guy was like tremendously shorter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But they were like super in love. It was weird. High school's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tito Santana, he taught Spanish at my elementary school.
Oh, nice. Shouts out. Yeah, so they paid this guy a bunch of money. So the scam was basically that like he would have somebody monitor the SAT tests. And part of that was he would set up assessments for kids, and he would tell the kids to he would have the parents tell the kids to act like you have a learning disability.
Right, because an individual can get a 504 accommodation on they could have an IEP that means they're classified as having a disability, or they could have not an IEP but a 504 accommodation saying that they require time and a half or double time to take assessments or any like grade bearing type assignment. They get time and a half or double time.
Okay.
And that would be something like for ADD wouldn't necessarily give you an IEP, but you can get a 504 accommodation for that.
Right.
So that's all they would have to prove.
But you get that when you pretend to be retarded.
No. I mean, like, if you pretended to have something like super significant, then like it would be weird for you to take the SATs and you wouldn't do well because you wouldn't be able to perform on the verbal scores part. But you can certainly have of average or above average IQ and have executive functioning or attention deficit issues and get a 504 accommodation for extra time.
Right. Now, two of the people implicated in this scam are both actresses. It's Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin from Full House, and then Felicity Huffman was on Desperate Housewives. She's married to William H. Macy. I read an article that said that, but a lot of the other people who were implicated were like lawyers, money managers, and those people might never work again. There was
the lawyer I couldn't believe. Then they had documentation of him being like, have you ever gotten caught? Because I'm a lawyer and I usually stick to the rules.
Yeah. I got to be on the up and up here. But I mean, I'm sure this is bad right now, but I feel like in 2 years this will kind of blow over and like Aunt Becky will get to work again.
Yeah, I think less than 2 years. I don't know if she'll like get to work again. Apparently she was like working on a lot of projects below the radar for several years, and she's worth $100 million.
She's worth 20. Her husband's worth
20
80.
or 80. Okay, so the combined they're 100.
Yeah.
But he had a fashion line at Target.
You, but you know.
Oh, well, thank you, because my woman brain can't really handle facts. But it seems like he also liked to flip houses and stuff too, so they made a lot of money in real estate.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Where do these people get the time to make all this money?
Well, I think he started his clothing line after he got a $100,000 loan from his dad.
Yeah. And
Aunt Becky was on Full House, which also, did they get paid every time it came on? Because it was on every day.
Yes, they always get, some kind of residuals.
Right. So
and then she's worked a lot.
And she was doing other stuff.
You would think it was more, though, for being on such a big show.
Well, she spent, I guess, a lot also.
Yeah.
But it was
on her dumb
interesting
kids.
To me that so she was approached by TV executives to do a reality TV show about them because they had like such a lavish life in these mansions, and their daughters had all these like endorsements from cosmetic brands and stuff. And she turned it down, saying like her family's too boring. Yeah. And she was quoted saying that her kids are still mad at her for that. Yeah. Because like they could have been a Kardashian. Right. So what if they're the ones who like ratted on their parents because they wanted to go to Fashion Week?
Yeah, maybe. That's shitty.
What if that's the scam?
Yeah, it could be. Somebody had to. Maybe cooperating witness one is Olivia Jade.
Maybe.
Instagram star.
Because it's called what was it? Varsity Blues. Yeah. What is it? Investigation Varsity Blues?
Yeah, that's what the FBI named the investigation.
Right. Just like the movie Varsity Blues. And James Vanderbeek is at the end. He's like, no, going to college was your dream. It's not my dream. I don't want your life. I want to be a Kardashian. Like that's, I added the extra.
Oh, okay.
But that's like what they felt like, I think. Right. Like they didn't want to go to college. They wanted to be social media influencers.
Yeah, I was reading another article that said that like it's really more about the parents and the kids because like they feel guilty for all their wealth and they don't want to be like, oh yeah, what does my daughter do? She goes to Arizona State or some shitty like party school. Right. They want they want to be able to be like, oh yeah, my daughter goes to USC. It's like a thing. It like reflects better on them and it makes them look like they didn't raise two like shithead kids, which also like. You use what you have in life to get ahead. So you really can't begrudge their daughter for being an Instagram star.
No,
right?
I mean, I don't see any problem.
She figured it out. She gamed the system.
Yeah, she was worth $1 million on her own.
Yeah. It's so funny. Who's the I guess Kylie Jenner is the youngest billionaire. So there's this guy that I follow on Instagram. His name's Sean Whalen. He's one of these like his thing is like lions over sheep. Like he's like crush your enemies and like be a man and stand up. And he had this video like defending Kylie Jenner. He's like, you want to be a bunch of fucking bum ass haters and trash a young girl. Yeah, maybe she was born rich, but you know what? I don't give a shit. And he's like, congrats to this young lady. You're an inspiration. Right. I bought my daughter her makeup.
It is nice.
Sometimes
makeup.
I put it on myself.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, your sister loves it.
Yeah, she does, and my mom does too. But I like what they give me of it too. It's good makeup. But anyway, so that's who they could have been. So that's probably all they see in life right now. Right. I watched a video that she has a closet for sweaters, a closet for
video too.
T-shirts.
Yeah. Are you jealous?
I'm not.
Did you feel like maybe I could like, be with somebody who makes more money than Mike that, could give me a sweater closet?
No, I think I don't feel envious. I mean, that'd be cool if you had more money.
Yeah.
And I could have all that, but like I don't really feel envious of that.
Right.
I think that being born rich is not exciting.
Yeah.
Cuz like nothing is significant to you in your life until it changes. So if you're just born rich, then it's all you've ever known and it's not exciting. I want to be brand new rich.
You want to be new money.
I want to be new money.
Yeah.
I want to be like...
You want to like roll up to the country club like on a giraffe and be like, what's up, all you Jewish motherfuckers?
Right. Party's here.
What's up, my chosen people?
Yeah, I just want to see...
They get mad. They're like, excuse me, there's a young woman on a giraffe over there who's making me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I just want to see me and the rest of my siblings just with a ton of money.
Yeah.
And like what we would turn into. I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Because we're all like...
Showing off is nice.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're all like...
It's nice to stick it to people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not even just sticking to people. Just like, look at me. This is great.
Yeah.
All of this, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Another way the scheme worked was he would basically Rick Singer would bribe the coaches of certain teams to say that the kids were an athletic recruit. Everybody kind of knows this already if you're familiar with the story, but there were incidences of people who, like a kid who was 5'5" and his athletic profile said that he was 6'1". There were photoshops. There were kids, there were parents who bought like lacrosse gear off Amazon to like pose with it, which I think is funny because a lot of people say that like the kids didn't know anything about this. So how did that happen?
Yeah, I doubt that that's like completely true. But I mean, I think going back to because we don't know everyone's story, but the only one that's been the most public is Aunt Becky and her kids.
Right.
Right. And they clearly did not want to go to college. And she was even like, Olivia Jade was super verbal about being like, it's hard to focus on school when you're not interested in anything. And she's like on there with Fashion Week.
It's hard to focus on school when you're riding a panda bear in Fiji.
Exactly.
It's hard to focus on,
So like they clearly didn't want to go to school. And so it just seems like there's such a major disconnect because I don't see how forcing someone to be there is going to end because you have to do so much work.
Yeah.
Like I teach 2 college courses. There's so much work just in my classes, let alone all the other ones that you have to take.
I went to New Jersey State School and there wasn't that much work.
There probably was. You just didn't do it.
Yeah.
And you went to school for acting. That doesn't even count.
Yeah, I did. There was a lot of pretending that you're an ice cream cone.
Oh my God, I would die. I hate that stuff. Like that silly stuff, like improv and stuff.
Yeah. There was a lot of walk around the room like you're an elephant. Don't worry what people think about you.
Is that why you stomp your feet up and down the hall?
Yeah, sure.
Is that how they told you to like make an entrance?
Yeah, whatever, Deborah.
He's like 3, 5, 4, thumb.
Yeah. Rick Singer.
Look out, everyone! I want to come.
That's funny to you, but I don't think you're not a professional comedian. Rick Singer even falsified students' ethnicities.
Yeah.
How did people think they weren't going to get caught?
Well, I mean, schools are so giant. It's not like anyone's following up. Like,
right.
Oh, I loved your application.
Right. What's your ethnicity?
Exactly. But
yeah.
I
You're not Cherokee.
Yeah. I applied to several colleges. They didn't come with a headshot.
Yeah.
I just wrote essays and had a application.
Right.
So they never looked at me.
And you just wrote your name was Deborah Chu.
Right. I mean, it's harder at the graduate level because the cohort is much smaller. But at the undergrad level, there's tons of people in the school. I'm just learning all of my students' names.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's March.
Yeah.
So.
There's also another world of like completely legal college coaching and prep stuff where people can pay, if you can pay $1.5 million for prices up to $1.5 million. Parents can buy a 5-year full service package of college admissions consulting from a company in New York City called Ivy Coach. And Ivy Coach will kind of like, over the course of 1 to 5 years, so it starts in 8th grade. They kind of walk your kid through the college process. They tell you what extracurricular activities to do, what to stay away from. I remember there were kids like when I went to college that was like, they were just like so laser focused, because my cousin Stacy was like that. She doesn't talk to me anymore, but she was so
laser. I was
laser.
about to say, I never met a Stacy.
Yeah. She's my third cousin. We don't speak, but she was so laser. She's like a feminist.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you're a feminist.
You wouldn't like her. No, but she's like annoying. I'm like an Anacatchian feminist.
Right.
Yeah. She's like yeah, she was just so like laser focused on getting into a good school, and she went to UCLA. But I didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about priority and what motivates you, and there are just lots of people who are motivated by that grade, and then there are just other people who are kind of motivated by their interests and comfort and things like that. And I just think that I didn't know you in the school setting, but I can imagine like you weren't all that willing to do a ton of stuff.
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think you and I kind of had different experiences in college, where we can get into this now. Because I like didn't ever do well in a school setting. I like to learn and I like reading, but I was always like, I don't care about this stuff that I'm learning about. And I also, I went to New Jersey State School for like 2 years. I dropped out. I didn't like it, but I also like tried to transfer to another school, and that school, like I tried to transfer to University of Miami, and that.
What were you gonna do at the University of Miami?
I don't know, but I got in. Yeah, I got in, and I went to look at it, and I was like, "Oh, this is just like I don't know. College is not where people like learn and become better people. It's just not.
I think it is.
It's not where you learn to be a shark.
Do it. I don't know about. I don't want to.
My education was the streets.
Right, great. So, I mean, from your perspective, I can understand why you think that, because your like foundation was never really aligned with sitting in a classroom setting and learning from a professor. So it's not even like you took English classes or creative writing courses.
No,
outside of.
But
I
did take a speech class, and there was a lady in there who was like in her 40s, and she was like, you could tell, very excited to be in school. And the teacher would talk, and she'd go, "Yep, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right."
Good, yeah. She
Absolutely.
was actually she deserves to be there because she's not an ungrateful little privileged boy.
She should have had my spot, to be honest with you. But also, like at one point, the teacher, like he was this older guy who was like a smoker, and he was like, "Okay, I understand you're excited to be here, but please stop calling out. It makes it hard for me to teach the class."
I thought you. Yeah.
It makes me hard.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were gonna say.
No.
I had. Did you have Rate My Professor when you were in college?
Yes, I think we did, but I think it was like towards the tail end of my. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everyone always wanted the teachers that had hot pepper next to them.
What's that?
It means that they were hot teachers.
Okay.
My speech teacher, he was like, the first day he was like,
"Hi, everybody. My name's Professor Morphy, but you can call me Gary."
Yeah.
He's got a corduroy jacket.
Yeah.
Why do we care about the Industrial Revolution? Deb's like, wet.
Yeah. No.
Deb's like, "Oh my God.
No.
We learned about the cotton gin."
See, I mean, you didn't like school, but you'd play a pretty good teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would.
Anyway, so
I
what
think
I
I'd
was
be like
trying-
I think I'd be like a sit, like turn the chair around and sit backwards kind of teacher
Oh my God.
while I rapped.
That's obnoxious, though. No, you don't want to be that guy. That guy's
be like,
corny.
"See, the Civil War, it was not a bore. They had to."
Because you just want to be like in
Lincoln had a
Hamilton.
real bad chore. Yeah.
What else happened?
Lincoln had a tough chore, and
Someone, I don't know.
he wanted to end slavery and said no more.
Right. I don't even know what I was saying. You cut me off.
He's talking about hot teachers.
Oh, right.
Rate My Professor.
Yeah, so he was like, "I don't care what the reviews are as long as I keep that hot pepper." It wasn't a speech pathology class. It was a public speaking class.
A teacher said that?
Yeah.
Oh, so he was like acknowledging it?
Yeah.
This was St. John's, though.
Yeah.
It's like, look, everybody, I understand. I'm hot. How old was he?
He was like, maybe he was 50, but he had a lot of hair that was gray. So it wasn't like he has balding or anything, but he had all gray hair.
Oh, okay. So he had a nice thick head of hair.
Yeah.
What kind of teacher was he?
Public speaking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not something. I mean, this is how stupid guys are. You don't like acknowledge that people think you're hot. You just kind of
right. Maybe he thought that was an icebreaker.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
But what I did want to say in college defense is that growing up, I never prioritized schools because nobody in my family ever did. And like, to be honest, the least significant thing that was happening in my life was school.
Yeah.
So I never felt smart or like anything other than average when it came to school. I didn't try and nobody prioritized it.
Right.
So it wasn't
What did your grandma do? She was a professional whore.
It wasn't until I went to college that I actually learned how to learn. And I became more confident in my ability to understand things. So I do think it is
Deb's grandma was a gumar. She was a career gumar.
Yeah, she was hot.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, so
Your
but
Aunt
that's also
your Aunt
why
Marie used to drug and rob guys Cardi B style.
Yeah. Pretty much. Staten Island. What up?
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm just trying to say that it can be that place. So it's just dumb to put your kid there and think that like sending them is going to be the solution because there's too much work to do.
Yeah. Right. And they're going to fail out.
They're going to fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it is more for the parent. I also read another thing about like how even like college coaching, even at like a middle class level, is very expensive. There was a guy in an article that said his parents paid $15,000 for college consulting and said the counseling was probably not worth it. And I just feel like for $15,000 you could like start your own business.
But you can't be a speech pathologist without a master's.
Yeah, but not everybody has to be. Well,
that's what I wanted.
I could be a speech pathologist.
You couldn't.
I think I could.
Don't have a master's degree.
I go say the door is opening.
Because you were copying me. You'd be a test.
Yeah, I know, but I think I've watched you enough where I could do your job.
Okay, so then the difference between you and I
say,
then would
open the door.
You are a technician, whereas you're just following through with the strategies.
Oh, because you have a piece of paper.
Because you're just following instruction. Right. You don't know why you're doing it.
I'm gonna undercut you. I'm gonna put up posters that say discount speech therapy.
All right, good luck.
Call Johnny.
I'm sure you'll be a hit, but when it comes to writing a report or giving a rationale, you might be a little bit.
Well, I won't have to do that. I'll just have the parents pay me cash on the table.
Okay.
Yeah. $15. I'll get your ding dong kid to talk. You are very good at your job, though. But I mean, do you feel like you learned that in school, or you learned that like on the job?
I think that I'm good with kids and people, and I just learned from my like upbringing and lifestyle. But I definitely had to go to school to learn about all the different pathologies and like in terms of anatomy and physiology and research studies and all of those things. Yeah. I loved college. Some people, they have a difficult time being like, what am I gonna do? And I was like, what am I not gonna do? I had to go in the summer because I kept taking too many classes. And I didn't take just all like, I took like photography, creative writing, every psychology class that was available. Right. And
you're like a genius, but you're also like kind of a tragedy because if you had more support, I think you could be like a senator or something. Right, you're so smart.
I would have wanted to be a doctor, not a senator. Who wants to be that trash? But I mean, isn't it unfortunate? But like, I'm gonna get new money rich one day, so it's gonna be great. Right. I can't wait.
You're going to wear like a velour pink tracksuit to the country club. Yeah.
I'm certainly not envious of anybody else. I've never heard anyone else's life who I wish I had. Right. So.
Yeah, same. Because I feel like, I mean, the big thing that you hear, from losers mostly is that like, oh, this could be a spot for a kid who worked hard. They're going to get passed over. It's like, but that kid who worked hard is going to be fine. There's so much. I honestly believe there's just way too much fucking emphasis placed on school, and I don't think anybody should go to college. Unless you want to be like a doctor or something. But like, if you don't know what you want to do, the last thing you should do is go to college.
Right. I mean, you can be a carpenter. It's good enough for Jesus.
Right.
So what's the big deal?
Right.
But no, I think that if you've chosen a career that requires a degree, then you certainly need to go to school. But to go to school for something, if you are not wealthy, if you're wealthy, then I would go to school for everything. I would just go and learn more stuff.
Yeah.
I would take sociology.
Yeah.
Find out what those people keep bitching about. But like, aside from that, it doesn't really make sense to pay tons of money if you don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to get a guaranteed career.
If we had a kid, I feel like I would encourage them to not go to college. I would be like, listen to podcasts, read books. But then the thing that you're missing out.
So what your key thing is, like you said, what if we have a child? 1. And 2, you said
you're pregnant right now.
Yeah. You would encourage them to not go to college. Why would you you shouldn't try to make anyone do anything. I have found in my experience that the further you try to force someone, the more likely they will rebel. Right. So you shouldn't.
So I'll be like, no, date a black guy.
Please, I wish I was one.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of them my whole life.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, so like I would never influence them to do anything. I would be like, don't ask me for anything if you don't do anything to deserve it. But
right, but I wouldn't want to have a kid who's like college, like they feel like they have to go to college. The only thing you really miss out on in college, like every once in a while I'll like read a really good book and I'll be like, oh, I wish I like went to college so I could like talk about this with people. I wish I had because I think like an important part of learning is the community aspect of it and the aspect of like finding out about these ideas with other people and discussing them and stuff like that. And I think that's cool.
Yeah, you're such a liberal arts fag. You just want to go to the park and chat about literature.
Yeah,
with
why
your
not?
Scarf.
What do you want to do? You want to you want to work in a coal mine or something?
No, I want to learn things. Like I don't need to go to discuss.
You're saying I'm a loser because I want to socialize
and get validated by other people and be like, yeah, I
why?
had this
I want to talk to other smart people.
Who will listen
you're a
to
fucking
me?
peasant. You're a fucking peasant, and I resent you for it.
I would rather.
You're so stupid.
I would rather
you're
learn.
A stupid dummy.
No, you're just so sad because I got you. But I would rather learn things.
No, you didn't. I like.
Oh my.
Go ahead. Go ahead, you idiot.
What do you like?
You annoy me so much. Make me feel ashamed to be who I am.
Spirit fingers.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'd rather learn things like that. I like be exposed to thought processes.
But there's no point in just learning
things like in terms of science and
right. But there's no point in learning stuff if you don't have a community to like discuss it with and learn with.
Yeah, but
and that's why like people seek like people have a deep need for number one intellectual stimulation and number two like community, and that's why people go to these Jordan Peterson lectures and they go see Dave Rubin talk and they went to that show we did with Michael Brooks. That was fun. People have a need to like be around
like-minded individuals.
Yeah, like-minded individuals, but also like they have a need to like discuss ideas and grow intellectually.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And how dare you call me a fag?
Well, I saw your penis move when I said it, so
liberal arts.
Right.
Okay, Deborah.
He's like, oh, I can't wait to meet everyone in the park to talk about this literature.
You see me tomorrow, I'm just wearing a scarf. No, I put the scarf on after I leave the house, a scarf and a beret. I wish we had those. I wish we had like cafes where you could, like that were open late and you could just talk.
Do you even want to hear what anybody else thinks, or do you just want everyone to listen about what you thought about the book?
Of course. Yeah, I want to listen to what other people think.
Okay.
I just wish me and...
Isn't that what comedy is?
Wouldn't that be cool?
You don't even listen to anybody else.
Me and Andy and Adam and Nick would just sit at a wine bar and talk about philosophy.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes.
Like a Barnes and Noble painting.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes like they do in Europe.
Yeah. I
should have been European. Yeah.
That was it.
Right.
Yeah, you missed the boat on that one.
I'm effeminate. I like smoking and drinking. I'm killing my body. all the European stuff about me.
Going back to the scandal.
Yeah.
I feel like Yale is in all the headlines, but the only names that are in the headlines are Lori and who was the other woman?
Well, because this guy had over like 800 clients over the course of, which is pretty impressive.
And we're not even gonna like know all of them because there's just like secret rich people. But anyway, so then you sent me a Yale
like,
video.
It's not really. It's sort of coming out. I mean, like there was a beverage mogul that got indicted. There was the guy Joseph Kaplan, I think, who was the lawyer. Gordon Kaplan, a top mergers and acquisitions attorney, and this guy William McGlashan, who was let me Google it. He worked with Richard Branson to he started a company that was like ethical investing. So a lot of these guys, like their reputations are pretty much destroyed because of this thing. But also I feel like people don't. So a lot of people are like sort of distancing themselves from these people. But I feel like if you're friends with somebody and you are like, you're sort of, they've made you money or you've been friends with them. I mean, I wouldn't terminate a friendship over this. I really wouldn't. If I found out somebody was trying to pay somebody off to get their kid into a good school.
And I would still be friends with the girl if I knew that happened, because she just sounds like someone I certainly want to be friends with. Like, who cares? I don't like when anyone comes angry at an issue due to it being unfair.
Yeah.
Because, like, what's fair?
Right.
Number
That's annoying. There's people who are like, this could have been a spot to someone who worked hard. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, who cares? And it's like, even if it's truly unfair, that person's not going to stay there anyway.
Right.
And then there's no way. I'm not saying that like you should just be tough because nothing's going to be fair.
Right.
But it's like
life is pretty fucking unfair.
Yeah, everything's unfair. So it's like you deal with it. And if you are going to be in school, she sounds like someone you want to be friends with.
She sounds cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Yeah.
But the Yale video, that when they interviewed the kids on spring break when all the news hit about Yale, I love this phrase, aggressively wealthy.
Yeah, who said that?
They just kept saying it over and over again, that like powerful people who are aggressively wealthy were able to make that push to get themselves into the university. And then also that concept of being a legacy.
Yeah.
And so if anyone in your family attended that school, it increases the likelihood that you'll be admitted.
Increases the likelihood, but it's not like an automatic in or anything.
It's not. This one guy said that he was a legacy at Princeton and didn't get in.
Right.
But that was like the closest thing they equated it to.
Right.
But that
he
just
still ended
shows
up going to Yale.
Yeah.
I bet if you do go to Yale, though, you kind of feel like a piece of shit for not going to Harvard. Because we know people who have gone to Harvard, and
but
they're
I thought
much
Yale
smarter
and Harvard
than
are like
people
the same.
Yeah, but don't you feel like Harvard's like number one? I mean, the Ivy League schools are like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Cornell, Brown, Stanford, and Penn. UPenn.
Do you know anyone who went to any of those schools other than Colin?
Allison Libby went to Cornell, but it's like, who cares about Cornell?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you, Allison, you dumb Jew.
Jesus, Mike. I have friends that went to Brown and Princeton.
Maybe we should edit that. Would that get too aggro?
I don't know how to edit.
Matt can edit it. Matt, maybe you want to take out the part where I call someone a dumb Jew. But no, she's very smart. But but I also kind of feel like, and then like my friend Amy went to Princeton, Princeton, that's impressive. But I don't know, Yale just feels like you almost made it.
Yale was cool.
You almost made it.
Oh. Well, the speech and hearing clinic at Yale is pretty good. So that's why I have a different association. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's in the video they talked about classism and stuff. So it's just like funny how in terms of like legacy is going to increase your likelihood to get in. So it's like that means that you came from a position that you're not even the first generation to get in there. So like you come from a line of people who are educated. Meanwhile, I was the first
to go to college.
Not me. Well, my siblings.
Yeah.
And our level of people. But
your mom didn't go to college.
No, and she always wanted to, and she was like, that's why she pushed for me to do it so hard.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm glad that I went. I'm happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it cost me a ton of money and I have all these student loans.
Your grandma went to college though, right?
No,
just
idiot.
to drug and rob people.
You're so dumb. Did your parents go to college? How do they make this dummy?
My dad did. My mom went to Montclair State, and I went there too. So
yeah, because you love your mommy.
I made her. I know. I wanted to follow in her footsteps. My mommy went here, and now I'm going here. Like what? I'm like, my mom. I meant to say my mom.
Yeah.
They're like,
so
did
you
say
didn't want to go
mommy?
to college at all?
I thought it was what you were supposed to do, and I thought it was like the next step. And then I got there, and I was like, "This sucks." I was like, "I fucking hate it here. I hate the people. I just want to like, I should just move to New York and start doing like comedy." And the only regret that I have in life, and everybody's like path is different, but there's a million like entrepreneurs and stuff who just didn't go to college, or they dropped out of high school, or they just didn't. I don't know. There's something about that like. That sort of hive mentality where it's like, oh, we're all getting an education together. And I feel like I'm very individualistic in that way where I just need to feel better than everybody.
Oh, well, that's
I just want to feel like I'm doing the stuff that other people aren't doing. But I also feel like, I don't know, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like, so for coming from my background, just because I'm in education, it's weird that like our educational service delivery model is like an individual in the front of the classroom just like spouting information at a bunch of young children at a desk.
It should be a bunch of people in a circle, man.
No, I don't think that either. I think small group instruction is the best, and more project-based activities, and like just more influence on the structure of language and sounds and stuff like that, and not just all like answering comprehension questions. But anyway, so like it's funny, like I mean, you probably could have accomplished a lot more had you gone to a little bit more of a Brooklyn like school.
I guess. I just feel like we talk about scams. College is a huge fucking scam.
Some are, but
and if you go there, you're a dummy, especially if you're going for like art or something.
Right. I mean, unless you're rich, then go. What else? What's the drama?
You can literally teach yourself anything on YouTube.
That just happened.
YouTube is going to destroy.
YouTube is brand new.
YouTube is going to destroy the college industry.
Yeah, but you can't put YouTube on your resume.
Yeah, but I bet you can learn how to do surgery on YouTube.
I don't think so, Mike. No, you don't have time to do that right now.
Surgery.
But so that video about Yale, they were talking about how
trigeminal neurologia surgery.
They didn't realize about classism until they got to Yale. They were like, "Oh, I'm like middle class," and then they got there and they're like, "I am poor."
Yeah.
They're like, "I'm aggressively poor."
Yeah.
And then there were like other students who were talking about how like they came from high schools that were like so like homogeneous. Yeah. And then they got to Yale, which was like significantly more diverse than their high school.
Right.
Meanwhile, Yale is 47% white, 17% Asian, 7% black, 11% Hispanic, and 6% two or more races. But these people, they came from a place that was so white and so wealthy that they thought Yale was diverse.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty diverse. Less than half white.
I mean, that's still a big percent.
We're losing this country.
Like, that's like, I don't know. That's too big of a percent.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
And they don't find they were also saying how like that a lot of wealthy people are good at hiding their wealth until it's spring break and they'll follow each other on Instagram and they're like on a yacht.
Yeah.
In Fiji.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's another thing too. I mean, like people need to there's this thing where we sort of romanticize poverty, and I think that's kind of silly.
Well,
I think people
story.
should flaunt their wealth if you have it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, sure. I don't have anything against it. Like, I don't care, and I'd be like, "Can I be friends with you?"
Yeah.
You know. But I think.
But like when rich people wear like Carhartt hats,
when you're not wealthy at first.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. All right. Well, what else did I want to talk about? I just feel like there's sometimes like there's a part of me that goes, yeah, fuck college. It's a scam. It's a ripoff. It's a racket. And then there's another part of me that goes, I would really like an education, because we all read like Instagram comments and we all see people who like are not educated and they just pop up and they're like, you know,
What do you want to go to college for?
me?
Yeah.
Philosophy, maybe. I wish I could go back as a philosopher. That's what I'll do when I'm 60. I'll go study philosophy.
Okay.
I'll live in a dorm too, like Patch Adams.
I had to take 3 philosophy classes as a requirement, and at first I was so mad, but then I ended up really liking philosophy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't prove any of it.
Who cares?
That's why I like science.
You are
theology.
You flip faster than like a pancake. That's what
I think so.
You are the most contradictory person I've ever met.
Well, no, I just understand that life is made of contradictions.
Right.
There's a yin and a yang.
Yeah. You're the yin and the yang.
I also do feel like too, like we've hung out at Harvard a few times, and everybody there is just a fucking piece of shit. I've never met more people. I've never seen more people that I like wanted to fight than when I was at that Harvard party.
That's just because that one guy told me to put my phone away.
No, but even that other party though, everybody's like just shitty. Everybody sucks. But yeah, a guy told Deborah to put her. Deborah, we went to the stupid Lampoon house. No offense, but there was a party there that Colin brought us.
This story a lot of times.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if I find that kid, I'm going to fight him. If anybody knows who he is, why
didn't you fight him that night?
Because it just happened so fast. I didn't even realize he was disrespecting you until it was like halfway over.
Right. Well, I mean,
and I did say a little something to him. I was like, "All right, tough guy." But then looking back on it, I should have been like, don't you talk to her that way.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? I feel like I hung out with a very smart group of kids when I was in high school. So they all act like that. All those kids that we saw at the party, like ridiculously drunk, like jumping around, but smart.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, I didn't think they were awful. That one guy was annoying because of his like private house, but who cares?
Yeah.
I just wanted to take a picture of my Halloween
If any of our
makeup.
listeners are in Cambridge on the Harvard campus, find the Lampoon house and burn it down, please.
Don't do that. Imagine someone does that and they say like, Mike Recine told me to.
Good. I'll delete the I'll have Matt delete the episode. He'll cover for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, but please, if you're at the Harvard campus, piss on the outside, please.
Colin showed us that statue that people pee on at night, but people kiss it for good luck during the day.
Yeah. Well, during the day, yeah, people kiss a statue, but then at night, the Harvard students pee on it. That describes who goes to Harvard. Community college kids don't do shit like that. They might play dice in the courtyard, but
yeah, community college kids don't have nice enough statues to kiss.
Yeah,
or pee on.
Exactly. It's all just factory made.
You just have to pee in the gravel
Confederate generals.
in
yeah,
the parking lot.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the relationship between the girls and their parents, because this has got to be pretty humiliating for these kids, like finding out your parents did that. And I feel like they're not talking to their parents now, but I feel like if my parents did that for me, it's like you got to stick by your family.
It depends where your priorities are. Those girls wanted to be Kardashians. They didn't even want to go to college. So,
no, I know, but someday,
but
maybe they're like not going to talk to their mom for like 10 years or something, and they're going to realize it, like, oh shit, my mom just wanted the best for me, and I'm a fucking little cunt for not talking to her.
But that's like I don't know. I mean, you're giving too much credit for the mom because that's demonstrating a huge disconnect between your idea of what your child wants and what they're capable of and where they would flourish. Uh-huh. So for her to really think that I could pay all this money for my daughter to go to college, like that was going to make a difference, she still has to do the work unless she's going to pay someone to do the whole work for her. And then what is she doing? Paying for her to just sit there?
Yeah. No, but it's like my parents like forced me to go to school, and it probably stole 2 years of my life because I hated it there, but they still wanted me to, they wanted what they thought was best for me. So I'm not resentful of that. I just feel like sticking to your guns, if you not apologizing goes a long way. I'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think okay. So who's got to apologize?
The people who did it.
Oh. I mean, it's just.
But it just seemed like the cast of Fuller House was like
getting the
staying with Aunt Becky. They were like,
but I don't think you're getting the point where it's like these people had tons of money. They had access to every type of tutor, every type of means of assistance, and they chose to, instead of working, lie and fake it and try to beat the system and go around having to put forth any effort, which is what is disgusting. So it's like, I think that's the part that matters, where it's like these people think that money can cure everything. It's like, you have all this money, do something. Like, use your brain, use your like physical ability.
Right. If you want a kid who goes to a good school, adopt an Asian one.
Shut up. Yeah. But like, I mean, you've made your kid lie about being athletic. Like, did you even toss a ball around with them?
Right.
Ever?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. It just seems stupid to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a common thing. People just thinking they can throw money at a problem and fix it.
Right.
That's why you're going to be a good mother, because you're poor, but you have principles and integrity.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, any final thoughts? Did we miss anything?
I said everything on my paper.
All right. Guys, I want to do more. I want to do some more stand up on the road. So if you think there's a place where you'd like me to come, maybe a city that you live in, maybe a small town, maybe not even a town, maybe like a shack in the woods, I'll go there. I'll go there for any amount of money. Just let me know. I want to get on the road. I want to come out. I want to maybe co-headline with somebody. Let me know what town you want me to come to, and I'll happily do it. I was thinking maybe with Adam we could do like Huntsville, Alabama, Nashville, and Atlanta as one run. We can maybe do Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, Detroit again. We could do New England. We could do Austin. We could do Portland, Seattle. Where do you want us to come? I got my calendar open.
Mike will be in Miami the first week
I'll
of
be in
April.
Miami, the 6th to the 10th. So Deborah, message Deborah on Instagram. She'll give you the address for Airbnb. You can come by and say hello.
I will not do that. But if you want to book them on your comedy show, do that so that I can have the vacation that I would like without having the aggravation of Mike thinking he's not doing enough.
Okay. Also, guys, I want to say follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And if you could, can you tell your friends about the show? That's the best thing you can do right now. Be like, tell 2 friends that you enjoy this podcast called The Sit Down. Download it. Please rate it on iTunes. That helps us out a lot. Review, subscribe, and please pledge to the Patreon. We got a nice little uptick of people. I shared some recipes. Maybe I'll share some other stuff. Maybe pictures of my dog's asshole.
Okay.
If we get enough people. But thank you for the people who do support us on Patreon. And if you want to, kick us $5 or $10, it doesn't have to be forever. You can pledge some money, cancel anytime, or you can just,
So if you listen,
give me your credit card and forget about it.
Right. So if you listened even once and you liked it, just donate $1 one time
and then cancel.
$1
one time and then cancel.
That's it.
Perfect. All right, guys, thanks for being here, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.